You know what? I always have this question. Are programmers screwed? Is it the end of programming? Every day, AI tools keep pushing the narrative that programming jobs are going to be done very soon. So in this video, we're going to check this out and hopefully try to figure it actually out. Like, is AI a tool that will benefit programmers or will end programmers? This is the main thing, because we can also think about it. I was just talking to someone about this. Programmers are giving AI their skills every day. Like, you are feeding AI, you're feeding robots your skills. And now they're gonna take your job and say, okay, bro, now we know everything. Please step aside. We can create an app. We can create a website. You don't have to do anything. We can create it from scratch. AI tools now are capable of creating websites. AI tools are now capable of creating apps. So, in my opinion, this might be bad news for programmers. But in this video, we will dig deeper into this, because it's not only like black and white. It's always this gray area that we're gonna talk about today and know, is it actually benefiting programmers or is it ending them? So before we jump into the video, a quick shout out to our sponsor, elodan.com. Elodan.com is a website that you can create everything using AI. You can chat, you can code, you can create videos, you can create images, anything you want in one place. And the prices are so competitive and you have to check it out. So this is a video showcasing the capabilities and what you can create using elodan.com. All right, so today we have a video by Lex Fridman. Sometimes I listen to his podcast. He dig deep into stuff, and he was talking to Jensen Huang, who is the NVIDIA CEO, very famous guy. They're talking about this. Will AI replace programmers? And if you're gonna listen to someone about this topic, you have to listen to the source. And this guy is the source. This guy literally owns, or he is the CEO of NVIDIA. So 100% he's gonna know what's gonna happen. He's the one who's feeding most of this industry by his NVIDIA chips. Of course, as you guys know, NVIDIA is the hardware makers of all the AI advancements. So without them, AI is nothing without NVIDIA. Maybe not for long, but now without them, AI is nothing without them. So let's check it out.
You're gonna get a lot of people excited with that statement.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what do you mean? I could just launch an agent and make a lot of money.
Well, by the way, it's happening right now, right? You know that when you go to China, you're gonna see a whole bunch of people getting their claws to try to go out and look for jobs and do work, make money. And I'm not actually. I wouldn't be surprised if some social thing happened or somebody created a digital influencer super cute, or some social application that
They're not only ending programmers' careers, they're also ending influencers' careers. AI influencers are going to be so much more interesting and up to date. They're going to create daily content on the topics that you are interested in. So you are instead of scrolling and watching all your people that you follow, you're gonna watch a lot of AI agents giving you all the updates on all the news, and they know exactly what you like and how you like it. So they're gonna be so programmed to give you the best. So I believe AI influencers are a thing, and they're gonna become better. And now, yeah, sometimes they seem fake. The mouth movements are a little bit fake. But with tools like elodan.com, the sponsor of our video, you can create crazy stuff. Actually, you can create crazy stuff. You can create, you yourself can have an influencer running on your behalf, AI influencer.
Feed your little Tamagotchi or something like that, and it becomes an out of the blue an instant success. A lot of people use it for a couple of months and it kind of dies away. Now, the odds of 100,000 of those agents building NVIDIA is 0%.
Oh.
And then the one part that I will do, and I want to make sure we all do, is to recognize that people are really worried about their jobs, and I just want to remind them that the purpose of your job and the tasks and the tools that you use to do your job are related, not the same. I've been doing my job for 33 years. I'm the longest running tech CEO in the world. I've been 34 years. And the tools that I've used to do my job has changed continuously in the last 34 years, and sometimes quite dramatically,
Crazy.
over the course of a couple to 3 years.
Yep.
And the one story that I really want to make sure that everybody hears is the story, the first job that computer scientists said, AI researchers said was going to go away was radiology, because computer vision was going to achieve superhuman levels, and it did. Computer vision was superhuman in 2019, maybe a little bit later, 2020. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so it's been a long time since computer vision has been superhuman, and so the prediction was radiologists would go away because studying radiology scans was a thing of the past.
Is it in his benefit to give us the narrative that AI is gonna screw employees or anyone who's working, or is it in his benefit to say that actually AI can replace a lot of employees? Because when he's talking to investors, he's saying you can remove all those people and just rely on AI because it's beneficial for them. They're gonna pay less on salaries. But when he's talking to consumers, he's saying, don't worry guys, your jobs are the same. And he's giving this example about radiology. So is it this or is it that? Because radiologists are still there, but we're talking about AI, which is artificial intelligence, and the only thing that human beings were special for are their intelligence. And now you're just saying, okay, no, we're gonna have artificial intelligence. The only edge for humans, you're gonna take it away from them. Radiologists, this is just technology, bro. This is just technology, and you just made it more advanced. But when it comes to artificial intelligence, you're taking the most important thing in humans' body, which is his brain, and you are using it as a tool against actual human beings. And this is the dark side of it. Of course, there's the bright side of it, but I'm just giving you guys the dark side of it.
AI will do that. Well, they were absolutely right. Computer vision is completely superhuman. Every radiology platform and package today is driven by AI. And yet, the number of radiologists grew. And so the question is why? And we now have a shortage of radiologists in the world. And so, one, the alarmist warning went too far, and it scared people from doing this profession that is so important to society. And so it did harm. Now, why was it wrong? The reason why is because The purpose of a radiologist, the purpose is to diagnose disease and help patients and doctors diagnose disease. And because we're able to study scans so much faster now, you could study more scans, you could diagnose better, you could inpatient faster, we can see people more. The hospitals are making more money. You have more patients in the hospital. You need more radiologists. I mean, the amazing thing is, it's so obvious this was going to happen. The number of software engineers at NVIDIA is going to grow, not decline.
Yep.
And the reason for that is because the purpose of a software engineer
For now.
and the task of a software engineer for coding are...
Well, about in 10 years, but for now they're gonna grow, of course, because it's the hype and it's you need the manpower now to make the technology even better. But about after 10 years, when the technology is better than your employees,
related, not the same. I wanted my software engineers to solve problems. I didn't care how many lines of code they wrote, but their job, their purpose of their job didn't change. Solving problems, working as a team, diagnosing problems, evaluating the result, looking for new problems to solve, innovation, connecting dots. None of that stuff is going to go away.
So you think it's possible that, let's even take coding, you think the number of programmers in the world might increase, not decrease?
Yes. And the reason for that is this. What is the definition of coding? I believe it is the definition of coding as of today is simply specification, and maybe if you want to be rather directive, you could even give it an architecture of the software that you wanted to write. So the question is, how many people could do that? Describe a specification for a computer to go, telling the computer what to go build.
When you're talking about the learning curve being so much easier and learning curve becoming so much, the entry for the programming career is now so much easier. This hurts the skilled programmers the most. I believe that. Skilled programmers are the one who are screwed. Junior programmers are the one who are just right now, yep, this is my time. I'm not going to wait 10 years till you acknowledge me. Nope. You can acknowledge me in 1 year. You can acknowledge me in 6 months of learning. I can watch a YouTube video, learn how to vibe code, and you can acknowledge me right now. Before, it was like, no, how many years of experience do you have? Right now, we don't care.
How many people? I think we just went from 30 million to probably 1 billion. And so every carpenter in the future will be a coder, except a carpenter with AI is also an architect. They just increased the value that they could deliver to the customer. Their artistry just elevated tremendously. I believe that every accountant is, also your financial analyst, also your financial advisor. So all of these professions have just been elevated. And if I were a carpenter, I see AI, I would just completely go berserk. The services I can bring to my clients, if I were a plumber, completely go berserk.
And the people that are currently programmers and software engineers, I think they're at the cutting edge of understanding intuitively how to communicate with the agents using natural language in order to design the best kind of software.
That's right.
So
exactly.
Over time they'll converge, but I think there's still value in getting, learning how to program, like learning what programming languages are, the old kind of programming. What are good practices for programming languages? What are design principles for programming languages for large software?
I'm not a coder, but I'm just curious about this. Do junior coders actually learn the basic of coding right now? Or they just jump into the more like intermediate phase of programming because of the whole AI? You don't need the whole story. You can just take the second half of the story of the learning, and with AI you can do so much more. I'm really curious about how AI affected the coding education
for systems.
And the reason for that Lex, and you know that I was just saying for the audience, I think the goal of specification, the artistry of specification, the goal and the artistry of it, is going to depend on what problem you're trying to solve. When I'm thinking about giving the company strategies and formulating corporate directions and things that we should do, I describe it at a level that is sufficiently specific that people generally understand the direction and it's actionable. It's so specific enough that they can take action on it, but I underspecify it on purpose so that enable 43,000 amazing people to make it even better than I imagined. And so when I'm working with engineers, when I'm working with people, I think about what problem am I trying to solve? Who am I working with? And the level of specification, the level of architecture definition relates to that. And so everybody's going to have to learn where in the spectrum of coding they want to be.
Yep.
Writing a specification is coding.
Yeah.
And so you might decide to be quite prescriptive because there's a very specific outcome you're looking for. You might decide that, this is an area you want to be much more exploratory. And so you might underspecify and enable you to go back and forth with the AI to even push your own boundaries of creativity. And so this artistry of where you are in the spectrum, this is the future of coding.
But just to linger on it outside of coding, I think a lot of people, rightfully so, are worried about their jobs, have a lot of anxiety about their jobs, especially in the white-collar sector. I don't think any of us know what to do with tumultuous times that always come when automations and new technology arrives.
Yep.
And I just...
Yep. That's the
First
right
of all,
question.
I think
that's the right question.
We all need to have compassion and the responsibility to feel sort of the burden of what the actual suffering feels like for individual people.
I'm curious what he's gonna reply. What's gonna be your reply, bro?
And families that lose their job. I think whenever you have transformative technology like that's coming with artificial intelligence, there's going to be a lot of pain. And I don't know what to do about that pain. Hopefully it creates much more opportunities for those same people for the same kind of job as the tooling evolves and makes them more productive and makes them more fun, hopefully, as it does in the programming. I've been having so much fun programming, I have to say. Like, I've never had this much fun. So hopefully it makes their job, automates the boring parts and makes the creative parts the ones that the human beings are responsible for. But still, there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering.
So my first recommendation before, and this is now how I deal with anxiety. In fact, we just talked about it earlier. Enormous anxiety about the future, enormous anxiety about the pressure, enormous anxiety about uncertainty. I first break it down, and then I'm going to tell myself, okay, there are some things you can do something about. There's some things you can't do anything about. But for the stuff that you can do something about, let's reason about it, and let's go do it. If we were to hire a new college graduate today, and I have a choice between two, one that is no clue what AI is, and one that is expert in using AI, I would hire the one who's expert in using AI.
Oh, really?
If I had an accountant, a marketing person, the one that is expert in using AI, supply chain, customer service, a salesperson, business development, a lawyer, I would hire the one who is expert in using AI. And so I would advise that every college student, every teacher should encourage their student to go use AI. Every college student should graduate and be an expert in AI. And everybody, if you're a carpenter, if you're electrician, go use AI. Go see what it can do to transform your current job. Elevate yourself. If I were a farmer, I would absolutely use AI. If I were a pharmacist, I would use AI. I want to see what it could do to elevate my job, so that I could be the innovator to revolutionize this industry myself. And so that would be the first thing that I would do. And then I would also would also help them. Um, it is the case that the technology will dislocate and will eliminate many tasks.
Yep. That's true.
And because
That's
we'll
true.
automate it. If your job is the task, then you're very highly going to be disrupted. If your job's purpose includes certain tasks, then it's vital that you go learn how to use AI to automate those tasks. And then there's the world of spectrum in between.
And by the way, the beautiful thing about AI, so the chatbot versions, is you can break down. You have anxiety, and you can break down the problem by talking to it. Like I've recently, it's really just incredible how much you can think through your life's problems and I don't mean like therapy problems. I mean like very practically. Okay, I'm worried about I'm worried about my job. What are the skills? What are the steps I need to take? How do I get better at AI? Everything you just said, you can literally ask, and it's going to give you a point-by-point plan. I mean, it's just a great life coach. Period.
I don't know how to use AI, and the AI goes, well, let me show you.
Exactly. It's very meta, but
All right.
it's kind of incredible. So people definitely should.
You can't walk up to Excel and say, I don't know how to use Excel. You're done.
I mean, that's really what AI has done for me in all walks of life, is that initial friction of being a beginner, of using a thing for the first time. I can literally ask about any single thing. What are the first steps I need to take?
That's right.
And that hand-holding that it does, removing the friction of all the experiences that the world offers. It's
super.
You know, like I mentioned to you offline, you mentioned...
Removing the beginner friction is the number one use case of AI right now. Number one. There's nothing more useful by using AI than removing the beginner friction for anything. You want to learn something new? Back in the day, before AI, you don't know how to start. You have to go search for a YouTube video. You have to do a lot of research to just know how to start. I don't want you to make me good at this. I just want you to lead the way. Just tell me, how can I start on this one? AI solves this problem, and it is the number one benefit of using AI right now, especially chatbots. You can remove the beginner friction with anything in life.
I'm going to China and Taiwan.
So awesome! I'm so excited for you.
Where do I? Where do I? How do I? All of those questions immediately answered. It's beautiful.
Well, when you go to Taiwan, just ask AI, what are Jensen's favorite restaurants in Taiwan?
Yeah,
and it will actually tell you. Oh yeah.
Is it accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all over Taiwan.
Well, you're a rock star over there, and like we also mentioned offline, maybe our paths will cross, which would be really wonderful.
It's crazy how he promotes chatbots, and he just is saying ask AI when he is not in the chatbot industry. He doesn't own OpenAI, he doesn't own Gemini, he doesn't own he owns models, of course, but he doesn't own like a big software company that is a chatbot. He doesn't do that, but he's just recommending people to do that because of his NVIDIA chips that are powering those apps.
NVIDIA GTC Taiwan.
So yeah, I think this was a very good video, and yeah, we learned about stuff, and we learned especially how they think about it. You don't need to learn something from them practically, or you don't need to actually learn something from what he's saying. You just have to know how are those business people are thinking. How are those people like Sam Altman, someone like this guy, someone like Elon Musk. How are they guys thinking? Are they actually want to replace employees? Are they actually want to replace programmers? Are they actually want to replace influencers? Or they're trying to empower them? And this is what we really gonna know in the upcoming 10 years. I think in the upcoming 2 years, it's gonna be a positive influence, but it always starts as a positive influence, and by human nature, we just turn it dark. Of course, we use it in wars, we use it in all sort of bad things, but I don't want to go to this dark side. Maybe we go for another video to talk about the dark side of AI, but let's hope for the best. Let's be optimistic. Such a great video from Lex Fridman, And make sure to subscribe and make sure to visit elodan.com. Create anything using AI. You don't have to rely on one source. You can use all the sources in one place, elodan.com. And thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.